Yung as approved ho yung legal position, ganun na ho talaga, hindi namin inalter. Much more, nung 2014, ang PhilHealth Board of Directors, Mr. Chairman, nag-pass ng
Move to suspend, Mr. Chairman.
resolution na
Session suspended. Session resume. Mr. Mas, kindly state on the record yung pong reply nyo.
if you will allow me to clarify, Your Honor. Ang sinasabi ko kanina na may request talaga no, si General Morales dated September 11, 2019. Nakalagay ho yun sa resolution ng Civil Service. That pertains to amendment ng qualification standards ng Executive Vice President position. So AVP po yon, yung inoccupy ngayon ni General Morales. No ngayon, ang SVP position talaga ni Mr. De Rosario, from the time na kinreate yung position, na inapprove ang position sa PhilHealth, ang kanyang qualification standards, ganun na ho talaga. Walang request si General Morales on that. Kasi si Mr. De Rosario, na-appoint ho ito panahon pa ni Dr. Roy Ferrer.
Okay.
Sige, may I request...
May I ask you, bakit nag-request si President Morales ng amendment ng Civil Service Rules? Why?
Sir, nakasite dito sa...
If I may, Mr. Mas, Honorable Marcoleta, meron po kasi tayong malaking development ngayon. Ang Department of Justice, kasama na po natin, sila po yung magpa-file ng case. Before we continue with our deliberations, baka pwedeng pakinggan lang natin yung update ng Department of Justice. Ano yung nila, ano na yung ipa-file nila, and then on the basis of that, we continue with our deliberations. So with that, with the indulgence of all the members of the committee, may I recognize Yusek Sugay of the Department of Justice. Meron po kayong short briefing. Task Force PhilHealth. Yusek Sugay is recognized. Sugay.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Can you hear me?
Please continue.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Good morning to the Honorable Congressman. Initially, upon the directive of the President, the task force on PhilHealth was constituted, and it is headed by the Secretary of Justice, Secretary Minardo Guevara. Mr. Chair, we've already had several meetings together with the other members of the task force. We've already interviewed resource persons. Many of these resource persons are in fact today present. Mr. Chair, I understand. Like for instance, the senior vice presidents of several senior vice presidents of PhilHealth, among others. We've also spoken to the corporate board secretary and other officers of PhilHealth, Mr. Chair. Sa ngayon po, siguro po meron pa kaming mga isa o meeting para kumausap pa ho ng ibang mga resource persons para mas lalo po naming maintindihan kung ano po ang mga issues sa PhilHealth. And among others po, ang aming tinitignan dyan, yung pareho naman po, mga tinitignan ng iba, the matter of yung interim reimbursement mechanism, yung mga concerns po nila sa claims, na mga issue sa legal sector nila, no? And also yung kanilang mga information technology concerns. So these are the matters we're looking into. And we hope to submit a report to the President within the deadline po given to the task force, which is by the middle of September po. And we also hope to be able to file the necessary complaints, the necessary cases against those whom we find are complicit dito po sa mga issues, no, na kinakaharap ng PhilHealth. There have also been there's an agreement also that all cases to be filed will be coursed through the task force. Maayos lahat, properly coordinated. In fact, one of the members of the task force ay ang Office of the Ombudsman po. And si Ombudsman Samuel Martires po has undertaken to only entertain complaints filed through the task force. So yun po ang ginagawa ngayon ng task force. And if there's anything that the task force can do, Congress and this committee in their investigation and in ways to find out kung paano po maayos ang palakad ng PhilHealth, the task force on behalf of the chairperson, si Secretary Guevara, hereby signifies its readiness to assist po.
Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
For that, Yusek Sugay, one question, several questions. Did you conduct a special audit of PhilHealth?
Sa ngayon po, ang COA po is the one undertaking the audit. Ang Commission on Audit po is part of the task force.
Okay, based on the audit, ano na po yung mga kasong nakikita ninyo? Kasi meron kaming 2013 to 2018 audit, random audit. But if you will be conducting a comprehensive special audit, nakikita nyo na po ba yung pag-file ng plunder case based on this?
Sa leads po ng COA, hindi pa naman nila nasasubmit sa task force yung final findings nila. But kung meron po makita ang COA, I think we will consider filing the appropriate complaints against the erring individuals po. Kung may plunder po, magpa-file, that complaint will be pursued, Mr. Chair.
In the case of perpetual succor, yung pong pag-reverse ng Court of Appeals decision, Yusek Sugay, hindi po ba ito ay illegal at hindi dapat?
Alam niyo po, siguro ganito na lang yung opinion, sa akin lang pong palagay, bilang abogado rin, I think yung mga decision po ng korte, totoo po yun, immutable yan. Meron exceptions na pwede tayong humingi ng kunyari ng correction of clerical errors, or if for to ensure that there's no miscarriage of justice. Pero lahat po yan dapat, and I think this was the point made by si Ombudsman Samuel Martires po, who used to be a Supreme Court Justice, alam po natin yon, kausap po namin si Attorney Pocalyan. Sabi nga niya, the only body who can modify the decision is the court. Sinasabi po niya, kung gustong i-modify ang decision based on the exceptions to the immutability of the decision, the party should file the proper motion before the court, which issued the decision, in this case, yung Court of Appeals, motion to modify, motion to clarify, or motion for reconsideration ho. So, yung mismong PhilHealth, hindi ho nila pwedeng gawin yun on their own. What they can do, if they are so authorized under the charter or under the law creating PhilHealth, is maybe to enter into a compromise agreement with the hospital. But of course, this is subject to yung kanila pong charter or the laws, subject to appropriate regulations of the Commission on Audit.
Yusek Sugay, in the case of Cardinal Santos, alam nyo naman po ito yung case na to, nag-compromise on the 70 million. Do you see this as one of the plunder
Yes.
cases?
Chair, lumalabas po na medyo malaki po ang disparity between the amount claimed and the amount compromised. That's, I understand, it's 240 million as against a compromise amount of 70 million. If titignan po ng mabuti ng task force yan, at kung nakita namin na anomalous yung pagkaka-compromise, we will institute the appropriate complaints against the erring individuals po.
Yusek Sugay, thank you so much for yung lahat po ng kasagutan nyo to Honorable Barsaga. Honorable Marcoleta.
Yusek Sugay, only one question. In the Cardinal Santos case, which culminated into a court compromise, PhilHealth sought the legal opinion of the Office of the Government Corporate Counsel. And based on the one-page, I'd say, open and close quotation, opinion, I'm not sure whether that is an opinion or just a reply to the letter of PhilHealth. The opinion says something like this: if it is based on your own judgment, on your own perception, or if the data are within your, or if you have investigated the data, then the compromise agreement can be given due course. To me, that is not even an opinion. The OGCC simply threw the ball to the PhilHealth. And in summary, he said in one sentence that he believes that this is the way to protect. I don't know how could that be a decision, Yusek, but it is for you to appreciate. And if you believe that that decision can be taken also as one of the exhibits, I think the liability also can extend to the Office of Counsel for submitting or for disposing a particular question by the PhilHealth in such a manner. Mr. Yusek.
Mr. Chair, titignan po namin lahat yan. Titignan din po namin yung naging opinion ng Office of the Government Corporate Counsel with regard to the matter of the Cardinal Santos case. And if we see upon evaluation na naging talaga pong problematic yung pagkakakompromiso of this particular claim and also the opinion of the OGCC, kung sino po yung dapat talagang makakasuhan po natin, Mr. Chair.
Salamat po, Yusek, and that will probably even cover an RTC judge in Pasig sometime in 2013. You can probably look at that decision, because in that decision, Mr. Chair, there was no findings that the remaining 170 million uncollected, unrefunded to PhilHealth was judiciously investigated or determined that every cent or every centavo was found to be remitted or to have benefited the last an order. There is no such a finding. It was just a statement that the basis of PhilHealth was inaccurate, and PhilHealth surrendered its position to the better judgment of HMI at the time. I think it is worth looking into, Mr. Yusek, considering that the compromise amount of 170 million, pera ng bayan po yun, pera ng miyembro, is not only illegal, but it is immoral. Mr. Yusek, salamat po.